Welcome back to the Community Review on Hot 92.3. I'm Josefa Salinas, your host. Today is a day of reflection, definitely the 10-year anniversary of September 11th. Everybody was somewhere that day. And you may or may not have a memory that you want to relive again, but most of us can't help but at least reflecting for a moment about where we were, what we thought, and all the thoughts that have run through our head since that day, especially when we're on the 10-year anniversary. Acceptance in the aftermath of 9/11. Big word, acceptance. Why interfaith understanding is our best weapon in the war on terror and how young people can help lead the way. It's been a decade since 9/11. Many U.S. citizens continue to have prejudice and suspicion towards the Muslim community. There's a group called Youth Lead out of Massachusetts. They are a nonprofit that is seeking to combat terrorism by bridging the difference divide between all faiths. On the phone with us is their executive director, Janet Penn. Good morning.
Good morning.
It is so wonderful to have you here. Now, Janet, you say that the overreaching goal is to get youth involved, to help them develop skills that clearly they're going to need because our world has become such a global, culturally diverse world, and so is this country, whether people like it or not.
Exactly. And being a diverse community is just a fact, but knowing how to engage diversity is where it really counts. And they're not skills that we're taught in school. You know, how do I sit down across a table from somebody who has really different points of view than I do? And how do I ask questions that seek to understand them? How do I share what I believe without, yelling and screaming and saying I'm right and you're wrong? Because ultimately, that's what we need as a country to move toward.
Now, I know that one of the approaches that you have is helping youth get deeply invested because they actually plan and run the programs there at Youth Lead. Talk to me about how Youth Lead works.
Absolutely. Youth Lead stands for Youth Leaders Engaging Across Differences. And our feeling is it's not enough for young people to engage in service projects together or in conversations that adults lead. Because when you're out in the community and somebody says something that's really offensive about another group of people, there's no manual. There's nothing you can turn to. You really need to have a skill base. So what we do, Youth Lead provides teens with 6 full days of training, leadership training. How do I communicate respectfully when I know I'm probably not going to agree with you on some pretty hot-button issues? And then, once you can communicate, how do I facilitate those conversations? Because when you're out in the world, you need to know, how do I ask questions that are going to open up a conversation rather than shutting everybody down? And then finally, it's not enough to just talk. We've got to fix what's broken. And young people, it's amazing what 14 to 17-year-olds can do when they're given organizing skills. And, how do you run a meeting? How do you keep it on track? How do you plan a program for 400 people in the community? Or in the case of our youth in Massachusetts, they completely plan and run TIDE, a 3-day diversity education conference, which is held at Northeastern University. That's wild. They're high school students.
Wow, what an amazing thing for them, number one, to realize that there's a need for, number two, to have the desire to participate, and then number three, be able to find the resources to pull that together and know that this is definitely a key tool to their future.
Right. And I actually was out last fall and did some training with some youth, an interfaith group out in Orange County. And they planned an interfaith youth forum last March, I believe, out in Orange County. And what Youth Lead is looking to do is to build Youth Lead communities all over the country where young people, where high school students can have the skills to really change the conversation. You talked about acceptance and interfaith understanding. And part of what I think that means is you've got to have the skills to be able to look someone in the eye and get to know them and not be afraid to ask questions. I think that's a lot of what keeps us separate. I'm afraid I'm going to say something offensive, or I'm afraid I'm going to pronounce your name wrong, and we've got to get past that.
Well, also I think it's important to understand that you don't have to agree with someone else's religion in order to still like them as a person, or you don't even have to necessarily be friends, because everybody doesn't have to kumbaya, but to be able to at least learn a little bit about why that person believes the way they do, and then maybe you can understand their perspective. It doesn't mean you have to change yours, but
Absolutely.
You might understand theirs.
We are not talking about agreeing. This is not about agreeing. There are lots of us out there in the world with lots of different beliefs and perspectives, whether they're religious or political. This is about we live in a democracy, in a pluralistic society, and we need to be able to come together and fix what's broken. And in order to do that, we need to be able to share what it is we believe, listen to other people, and then say, okay, we're not going to agree here, but you know what? You and I are both concerned about hunger in our community. Let's work together and do that. And when you engage together, that's where the strength of our society comes in. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I was reading some of the comments from some of the kids that are in a part of Youth Lead, and it says here, one girl said it was the most impactful event of her life because she was Muslim, and she was 6 years old at the time, and she was in her first grade classroom when 9/11 happened. But to a young child, what did 9/11 mean to me? Did it mean my teacher calling my mom out of all the other parents to come to the school? Mm-hmm. Very, very interesting. Another one says, terrorist and Islam are forever linked in American minds. The term of terrorist is skewed in our minds because of the media and our upbringing. No matter how much we know and however many dialogues we have with others, they still seem to associate terrorism with Islam.
Right, but what youth leaders do, and I've heard this over and over again, I've heard kids from all different backgrounds saying, I came in and I had, a mild case of Islamophobia, or I had anti-Semitic views, whatever it is. And then I got to meet and really engage long-term, over time, really build friendships and have substantive dialogues and work together on a community program or forum. And it's impossible to hate somebody when you've heard and really listened to their views. And that's what Youth Lead enables young people to do, is to go that extra step. And then you realize it's, a whole group. You can't just lump a whole group of people together, whatever that group is. It's not true. It's not the truth.
Exactly. Well, I know that the media has a lot to do with the images that we have of religion and of people. Like when you say gospel music, generally, people automatically think African American Baptist Church. But gospel music is huge throughout the South, and many of these churches you go into are all Caucasians.
Right.
But they're listening to gospel music. Right. When you hear Islam, you all automatically think terrorist. And then you think of a certain person that looks a certain way, dark olive skin, dark hair, certain facial features, when there are blonde-haired, blue-eyed people who practice Islam.
Right, who are Muslim, absolutely. And this is a world, if you think about it, the kids that are in high school today don't know a world that was pre-9/11. They've been living in a society where there's been fear for really all of the lives that they pretty much remember. And so what Youth Lead is looking to do is to say, okay, let's break this down. What do we need to do to bring our communities together? And every community is different. I mean, where you're located and your listenership probably is dealing with some similar but some very different problems and concerns that we are in our community. But what Youth Lead says is, get the skill base down, learn how to communicate respectfully, learn how to facilitate those conversations, and then get those organizing tools. And then kids in neighborhoods all over the country can look around and say, this is what we need to do here. When we trained kids on Staten Island, the kinds of programs they're working on are public service announcements that let people know about date rape and gang violence. Not something we deal with in our town, but the skills are the same.
Exactly. Well, I think that this is an incredible idea. I look forward to Youth Lead spreading across the country. Anything that we can do to help you get the word out. If you have PSAs, we would love to run them for you. And for more information, give us a website where they can go to learn more about Youth Lead.
www.youthleadonline.org. So it's one word, youthleadonline.org.
Very good. Well, I tell you what, we couldn't have asked for a better guest today on commemorating the September 11th and learning about acceptance. I'm hoping that somehow in this last 10 years, we've learned that maybe things aren't always what we think they are, and how important it is to go ahead and just extend a hand, open your mind, and at least know the person sitting across from you, and don't dismiss them just based on what your assumptions are of their religion or their cultural background. And Youth Lead seems to be doing a great job in helping young people understand how to do this thing that grown-ups really need to learn how to do.
You've got it.
Janet, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks very much for having me.
Moving along with the pulse of the community, where we head out and see what's going on around town. And what's going on is the Hispanic Scholarship Fund, recognizing Southern California students, parents, school teachers, and other leaders in Hispanic education. The Leaders in Education Awards 2011 luncheon is going to be at the JW Marriott Los Angeles at LA Live from 11:30 to 1:30. Is coming up this week on Tuesday. On the phone with us, Paco Flores, the National Director of Development for the Western Region of the Hispanic Scholarship Fund. Buenos dias.
Buenos dias, Josefa. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure to have you here, Hermano. Tell me a little bit about what's going on at this Leaders of Education Awards and if people are still able to get tickets and come on out and join us.
You know, this is a great event that we're really excited to start in Los Angeles. It's going to be our inaugural luncheon where we look at those that really make a commitment to education from a variety of perspectives. I think so often we focus on just the students or people that have succeeded already, but we really want to look at those that have also helped them and those that also help their community. We'd love to still have your listeners come join us next Tuesday. Tickets are available up until the day before on www.hsf.net. And there you can also find contact information if you have additional questions about the event.
Let's talk a little bit about the Hispanic Scholarship Fund, what it is and who it serves.
So HSF is the nation's oldest and largest organization providing support to the Hispanic community. Since 1975, we've given out over $330 million in scholarships. $3 million of the last year went to students right here in Los Angeles County. We also are looking to provide information and resources to parents and students so they can understand the value of college and how to prepare for it.
Very nice. Now, how does somebody go about learning more about how to get a scholarship from the Hispanic Scholarship Fund?
Well, scholarships just opened online on September 1st. So anybody from a high school senior to somebody going back to college to continuing students can come to our website. Again, that's www.hsf.net. Learn about our different scholarship programs and actually apply for a scholarship online.
And is it pretty easy to apply? What are some of the prerequisites? Do I have to write an essay? How does that work?
It's kind of like applying for college, but a little bit abbreviated version of that. So, students generally have to have a 3.0 GPA. They have to plan to be a full-time student somewhere next fall. And there are a couple questions that they do need to answer as a component of doing the application. But, we have plenty of time in the application period for people to start those applications. Better to not wait until the deadline, which is generally December 15th. So I'd encourage people to, get in there, take a look at what they're going to need to do, and start working on the application.
Very good. And when do you award the scholarships?
The scholarships are awarded in the fall of each year. So right now we're getting ready to award students for this school year that's just starting. And then those that apply right now would be awarded for the following year. Students are notified that they've been selected generally towards the spring, early summer, so they can include that in their plans for the fall.
Very, very nice. And again, the website, if someone wants to get more information about the amazing Leaders in Education Awards, which is happening on Tuesday at the JW Marriott downtown at LA Live, 11:30 to 1:30. Great place to come spend lunch. You would go to hsf.net for tickets and more information. Or maybe if you know a high school senior, or someone who's in college that might need a little help, why not apply? The Hispanic Scholarship Fund open right now. The applications are being taken. If you are a a high school senior, you're going to be in college full-time next year. You have a 3-point GPA, get there and fill out that application and see if you can't get yourself a scholarship. Paco, thank you so much for joining us today. Anything else you want to tell us about the Hispanic Scholarship Fund before we go?
Just that we're committed to helping students and families here in Southern California and across the country, and just want to thank you, Josefa, for having us on the show.
Oh, most definitely. And whenever you have something going on there, please let us know so that we can bring you back on. I know that sometimes you do events where you're helping people understand how to fill out college applications and all types of things throughout the year. The Hispanic Scholarship Fund is a very, very active organization that is so involved in our youth today. Whatever we can do to help support you, you have our support 100%.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. We'll see you Tuesday.
All right.
Feel like getting some Christmas shopping out of the way early? Man, do I have a place for you to go. Bring the whole family. There's a kids zone, live entertainment, strolling performers, interactive activities, specialty foods, health screenings, and a whole bunch of stuff that you can buy. Arts and crafts. It is the Harvest Festival, original art and craft show. It's been going on for 4 decades, and the Weekend Spectacular is in Long Beach. It's happening on September 23rd through the 25th. With us to talk about it, Lisa Carey. Good morning.
Good morning. It's always so great to be here with you.
Great to have you here. Tell me all about this fun event.
Well, it's something I'm so proud to be a part of because it happens every year, and it's an annual gathering where they bring together about 200 or more artists from across the United States. And these are arts and crafts people that make their own handmade originals made in America and with that unique touch that's artistically their own. And they all come together under one roof, and they have about 24,000 items on display that you can browse, and all of the booths are decorated, and you get a chance to meet with the artists, visit with them. In some cases, you can have items personalized, just a little finishing touch. And I go and I just do all my shopping of things that I love, and then I put them in a closet. And when my kids say, "Mom, I need a birthday gift," or I have my holiday shopping done, and it's just a great day. Because you can spend the whole day. They have the entertainment on different stages throughout the day. They have strolling performers. They have specialty foods that they're offering free samples so you can taste along the way. There's even Pacific Hospital of Long Beach is going to be out and doing free health screenings. So now shopping is even good for your health.
Oh, heck yes. Shopping was always great for my health. Oh, I never felt better than after I went shopping. And the cool thing about this, you can find ceramics, paintings, jewelry, blown glass, hand-woven clothing, photography, candles, one of my favorite things, woodwork, garden design, specialty foods, antique treasures, children's accessories, sculptures, ornaments. And it's like we're only 8 weeks away from Christmas. Did I really say that? Oh my gosh.
I know. Well,
it's
here
right
this way
around
you
the
can
corner.
have fun.
Yes.
And then make a day of it, an outing with the family. And it's a real relaxed setting. It's not like a mall where you're jostling for a position.
And when you go
that.
into the mall,
it's more fun,
You may go there and you buy something for somebody and 50 other people have the same thing because there's 50 of them hanging on the rack or on the shelf. The great thing about an arts and crafts show, sometimes you get something where that's the one of a kind. That's the only thing the artist made, or the next one that they made, because they're all handmade. No two are exactly alike.
Right.
So when you're looking for those special gifts, when you want to give somebody something that means something, you get something like this.
Yeah.
And it really makes a difference, like with your boss.
Well, and I've gotten to know a few of the artists, and there's one lady who's from Signal Hill, so that's sort of down by Long Beach, and she has made artwork out of silver spoons that she got, vintage cutlery from a great-grandmother who used to have an inn in Australia, and she passed, and she left in her will all this antique silverware. Beautiful, ornate things from the latter 1800s, early 1900s. And so she took it and she said, "Gosh, I'm going to make some beautiful artwork." So she does pennants, she does pins, rings, and she's really made a name for herself in the United States. She started in her garage, and now she has 8 employees, and she does these shows, and she just loves it because there's a personal interaction with the people, and they get it. It's all made with love, and it's very unique. She'll look at a piece of a cutlery, a knife or something, and she'll envision it as a ladybug or a heart pennant or something like that. So she said she never looks at silverware the same way.
I guess not. And see, what a great thing, though.
Yeah.
A lot of these artists probably can tell you the story, and you'll be able to talk with them. And they'll tell you the story of how they started and how they ended up to be in such a fabulous place. And I just always love personal kinds of gifts, especially when I'm buying them for a unique reason or for a special person or a special occasion. To be able to have something that you're not going to go to an event and somebody else is going to be giving the person the same thing.
Well, I think it says something about you if you give a unique gift like that too. It's sort of like you've given the time and attention that person will really get get the connection there.
And in this day and time, you need to single yourself out.
You do.
How do I stand out at the job? How do I stand out in someone's mind? How do I stand out? Because so much is just so, I don't want to say it, everything's so clinical now. All the texting and the Facebooking, and it all looks the same, and it's all the same format, and it's all delivered the same way. And the unique thing of
chains,
like a letter in the mail.
Yeah.
God forbid somebody sit down and write a letter to somebody, and you get
and
a
actually
letter
use
in
a
the
pen too.
Yeah, and put a stamp on an envelope. But how magical that is when you actually get one.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. The beauty of something like this is the magic of getting a gift that's not manufactured straight with 1,000 other ones off the shelf, or you just happen to grab the next one in line. This is something that you took the time, you went out, and it's just fun to walk around these kind of events, to get a unique Christmas ornament and set it aside for your kids for when they get older and they start their own families and their own Christmas traditions or holiday traditions, whatever it is you celebrate, to get them something, pack it away for them, to start their traditions later in life.
No, I think it's, it's wholesome and it's entertaining, and it sort of has all the components that bring people together for a good time. And then another part of what they do is they reach out on the local level. And for example, a food bank of Southern California, if you bring a donation item, you'll get $2 off your admission price. And also if you go via Metro and bring in your invoice or your badge or what have you, and a destinations discount download that they have on their website, you get $2 off. And then Knots of Love, love this group. They host the bag check and parcel check, so they help you out with keeping your items together. And they make knit hats for people that are undergoing chemotherapy and things like that. So all the proceeds from purchasing a bag will go to help them, and they receive a stipend from the Harvest Festival too.
Very nice. Well, again, the event is happening September 23rd through the 25th out there at the Long Beach Convention Center right there on Ocean Boulevard. Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come on down and have a lot of fun. I'm going to come out on Sunday, so if you want to come hang with me, I'll see you out there on Sunday. Look for me. I'll be the one with the very large bag carrying stuff around, because I will definitely be picking up some of my Christmas gifts out there. And all of this information will be up on my webpage at hot923.com. Keyword Josefa, but where can they go for more information?
They can go to harvestfestival.com, or they can call 1-800-346-1212. And we're also on Facebook.
Oh, great. Harvest Festival on Facebook.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Well, Lisa, it's always fun. You always bring me such great events.
Oh, well,
and
this
great
one's
things.
A lot of fun, too.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing you down there. Thank you so much.
I'll be down there. Everybody come on down there and join us again. It's harvestfestival.com for more information, or 800-346-1212. Now, if you're looking for a way to kick off Hispanic Heritage Month, I've got a great idea for you. The City of Los Angeles presents El Grito, celebration of Mexican independence at El Pueblo Historical Monument. Councilman Tony Cardenas, city officials, and the Council General of Mexico will be joined by Los Tallares de la Sierra, folklorico dancers, and mariachis in this annual celebration. It's happening on Thursday, September 15th from 6 to 10 p.m. It's all taking place at El Pueblo Historical Monument, Placita Olvera, 125 Paseo de la Plaza, and that's in downtown Los Angeles. You'll see a lot of city officials down there, but there's going to be plenty of fun and mariachis and music. It's a free event open to the public. Again, it's the City of Los Angeles presents El Grito, celebration of Mexican independence, kicking off Hispanic Heritage Month Thursday, September 15th from 6 to 10. Free event downtown. Incredible music, lots of fun. Come on down there and join us. If you want more information, you can call Council Member Tony Cardenas' office at 818-374-7549, or you can email cd6events@gmail.com, and I'll make sure all this information is up on my webpage at hot923.com, keyword Josefa. I've also put up some really cool job listings at the Job Corner. Go to hot923.com, keyword Josefa, click on the Job Corner, and it's going to take you right to the page. Make sure you look all through the page. There's job listings for everybody from all levels of education. There's some really great training classes coming up that you're going to want to know about. Amazing, amazing things going on the Job Corner. I'm trying to help you get back to work or get that extra job like me, working 2 and 3 jobs. I'm right there with you. I'm trying to help provide as much information as I can to keep my audience employed. I'm Josefa Salinas. Until we get together again, stay strong, stay focused, and most of all, stay informed. I'll see you next Sunday on the Community Review, Hot 92.3. Get out there and enjoy your day, enjoy your family, be good to yourself.